All right, so in this series I am working on my Blooms and Lace book, and so far I have done the cover. I haven't taught this yet, but if you want to know how to make this binding, I can do another little video on that. So we've made the cover and we've made the removable signatures, which are all full of all sorts of different stuff. Cool papers, envelopes, and everything to embellish. And both of these are removable. And so that's part of the reason why I made this like this, because I wanted to just not have the elastic on the outside, and I thought it could just be attached to that and everything would be good. So but today we are going to work on using scraps. And so I have a bunch of scraps from this project so far, and I also have other scraps too. And yesterday I was in a live stream with Monique, and Monique is from Misfit Crafter, and she taught a couple of really cute ideas, one of which was making a mini book. And I really love this idea, and I want you to know it's not my idea, it's hers. So if you like this idea, then you want to go over to Misfit Crafter and follow her on YouTube. But this is a mini book, and it's sewn in, and I believe I'm going to put a magnet here because I think that would be really cute. And then it's a perfect book for scraps. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make one of these, and maybe even a pocket to go right here. Actually, this is like goes pretty well in here, but you know, maybe a pocket that goes right here that is big enough for this to hold this, and I think it would work out just fine because there's plenty of space in there. So I'll go ahead and show you how to make the little book and the pocket. So we need 2 pieces of 6x3 paper, and then what we want to do is score it. So I'm going to use my scoreboard. Oh, sorry about that. And I am going to, oh, this is 8.5. Well, let's see. If I do 2.5 and then a half, and then 2.5 and then a half, this will actually give me one more cover here. I want to get that crease out of there, or that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this, and I'll go ahead and just leave them at 8.5 inches. Yesterday when we did them 2.5 by, I'm sorry, 3 by 6. So anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to fold these and then choose which one I like better. And basically we're just kind of making, you know, like a trifold sort of thing. Oh, I like this already because it's got the eyes on the front. See that? So I think that's going to be my front. And then this one will be folded opposite, but we'll do that in a minute. The next thing that you're going to need are, you're going to need slightly smaller panels to go in here of just cardboard, And so if this is 2.5 by 3, I'm going to need it to be maybe 2 3/8 by, I don't know, 3 probably. Let's see. Let me cut these off just so I can turn it around. Okay. Let's see what that size is. 2. I don't know. I don't know if I'll use this or not, but I'm going to try it real quick. That would be cute for something different. I think I'll save that. I already like how that is. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And I love to use food boxes for this stuff. It keeps it out of the landfill. I know that people try to recycle, and I don't really know much about recycling. What I do know is how to use these things in a way that will look like not trash. So I need 2 of these, actually 3 of these. That one looks a little too thick. So I might be cutting these down just a little bit. So now if we want to, we can make some signatures if we like. And you know how to make signatures. All you do is you just make these smaller and just use all kinds of different paper. So that's all I want to show on that, because I want to show you some other things. And I've taught you guys signatures a couple times already. So next thing I want to show you is when you have pieces like this, don't throw them away, but instead make some beads like this. You can make like long beads, and I like to use these long beads to cover up the elastic for when I am putting in the signatures that are able to be removed. And that's sort of fast becoming one of my favorite things to make, or favorite ways to bind. It's just so easy. And anyway, so you can make beads like this, or you can, if you want to, you can make more tapered beads, but that takes a different cut, and I am about easy, so I'm not going to do that. But what I want to do first with this is that I think what I might cut off this black part right here and just use the white part, because I think I want to stamp on this white paper. Set that aside. And I want to do a little bit of stamping. Oh, there's still some black here. Maybe I'll just stamp on this, on those sides rather. And I am going to just use this and just kind of, I probably don't need to do any more than that, but I'm going to try it because a lot of it's just going to be captured inside anyway. So, but I really like that, the way that looks. I love shiny. I don't know what it is lately, but I'm into like pink and gold and sparkly and stuff I've never been into before. So what I'm doing is I've got a quilling tool that I am wrapping this paper around, and normally I would just put my thumb right on that, but I'm trying not to because I just realized that I'm going to mess up the ink. So I'm just going to try to avoid it best I can. All right, and so once we are here, put some glue. And you can do this with other tools. You don't necessarily need a quilling tool for this, but I like to use one. It just makes it a little bit easier for me. And this is a little off center, so I'm just going to cut that little excess off. And then let me try this. What I sometimes do is dip the ends in like a gold paint or nail polish, but I'm going to try this. Yeah, that looks actually nice too. So, and that'll probably dry much faster. And so I can do this if I want to. I like that. And this is like so much easier. Oops, I don't want to go over too much. Okay, so now we've got a little bead, and to make it, we should let it dry, but and to make it a little bit more shiny or professional looking or whatever, you can paint it with nail polish, some clear nail polish. So now I am going to make some miniature beads of a different kind out of some paper from my blooms and lace that got like double, they got double printed for some reason. It was my mistake. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make some smaller beads for my little book. And one side looks pretty good and the other side looks kind of messed up. So anyway, I'll just pick what I like. And so there's a notch right here in this quilling tool, and I just slide that right in there, and I just wind this all up. And you can keep straightening the edges so they don't go off center, but I don't usually worry too much about it being straight, you know, perfectly straight or whatever. You know, when I start thinking that things need to be perfect, that's when I end up not doing anything. So that's why I don't do anything perfectly. And here is the bead. And I think I would like to put some clear nail polish on this one because I think that's real pretty. And so what you want to do is you want to look at what colors you've got here, and you want to decide what part you want at the end. So I always want these flowers to be at the end, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one just yet because neither of these is very exciting. Neither side, I mean, you know, end. So I'm going to go ahead and make another. And you'll notice that I don't put any glue until the very end. Okay. And it just makes these so easy to make. Okay. And again, you know, there are no new ideas under the sun, guys. So I get all of my ideas from people like Monique at Misfit Crafter, or Natasha at Treasure Books, and then I just make it my own, and I teach it my own way. So I had somebody say to me that, you know, a video that I made was exactly like a class they took, you know, a couple of weeks ago or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that's where I learned it. You know, because I'm not shy about, you know, about using other people's ideas, but what I'm also all about is making sure that you guys know that I didn't get these ideas, you know, from my own brain. You know, we all just get each other's ideas and then we make them our own. Okay, so what I'm going to do is probably make a small signature that is held in with elastic, and then I'll probably use these little beads here, and I think they'll be perfect. So let's do that. So sometimes when I'm doing certain crafts, I'll end up with a lot of these kinds of things, and this is another thing that I've done, is just make a tablet out of the leftovers, and this is just, you know, glue and a little piece of fabric, and I think that's really super cute. This time we're going to make some signatures out of these, and these are exactly the same size. That's so funny. So so this is about 2.5 by 8.5, so I'm going to go ahead and make that 2.5 by 8.5 also, I think. Hang on, let me just cut that part off, and then okay, I'm gonna cut off this end right here, so I want 2.5 to start where the ink starts. This off, and this is wider than a regular sheet of paper, so I think I've got 8.5 here, as a matter of fact. So I also want these only to be about, let's see, because we want them to be a little bit smaller, and they're going to be a little shorter, and I also want them to be a little shorter on this end here. So if it's 2.5 this way, I'm going to cut, I want the book to be 2.25 wide, so that means I'm going to cut these at 4.5, and it looks like I'll probably have enough for 2 books here. And you can absolutely use all kinds of different papers. So you can use papers like these if you want to. You know, you can put anything you want in there. I did that with this one, and it's really super cute. But this time I think I'm just going to use these papers. This one looks like it's 4.5, so I can fold this over and fold this over. And then I am going to use about 4.5 of this paper. And you know what's cute about this is that I did another stamp here, and so I can enjoy that gold there as well. And so this time, just for time's sake, I'm just going to staple these. It's not the prettiest way to do it, but it's quick and easy. And for what I want to use it for, it'll be perfect. Oh, this is so cute that this is like right here on the front. And the way that I'm going to use these is, let's see, there's 3. There's a long, a short, and a long. So I'm going to put it long, short, long, like that. And then I'm going to cut this, and I will just simply tie this around. And I don't want it super tight. I don't want it super loose. But that is how I will put my, let's move this over just a little. That is how I'm going to put my signatures in, okay? And when you're making this, make sure that you're using actual elastic cording rather than, or I don't know if it's called cording, but it's like elastic thread, I guess. Monique mentioned yesterday that that sometimes people will try to use the plastic, stretchy plastic stuff, and that doesn't really work very well. So make sure that you're getting, you know, it's similar to elastic, right? But it's just like skinny, like string. So anyway, that's that. Some of the other options that I can do is add more beads down here if I want to, or I can just cut it off and then embellish the outside or whatever. But I also have scraps like these that I think I'll probably use for pockets. And I'll start gluing some of those in. And all I'm doing for a pocket is just a little teeny bead of glue. That's probably way too much. And I will just glue this into the center here. And when it's dry, I can put a tiny little tag in it or something. There's also like little pieces like this, and actually I ripped this using a like a ruler, one of those kind of rulers that has like a decal edge. So I'm going to use this because I think it's cute, but it's really too small for anything else. Those are some things that you can do. And the last thing I want to show you is how to make a pocket to hold your little book, okay? And so you can do, I should say that you can do any kind of closure that you want for this. I haven't decided just yet. I do know I want to make a pocket. And you're going to want to use some cardstock for this. And so I think I'm going to just use this white piece because it's a sturdy piece, and what I want is I want it to be big enough to hold this. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a 3.5 inch wide pocket, so it's going to be wider than I usually make, but I am going to score it at a 1/2 inch. And this piece of paper is 5.5 by 4.25, so 1/4 of an 8.5 by 11 page. And I'm also going to score this the same way here. So we've got 2 lines going this way, 2 lines going this way, 2 lines going this way, and then I am going to cut these little squares out. And so this is what we have. So now I'm going to go ahead and start folding and making my pocket. All right. And I want to glue these corners. And I want them to be nice and flush right here, you know, the 2 papers. And I'll do the same thing over here. So because I'm impatient and I want to go on to do other things, usually I just use these clips just to clip these corners for about a minute. And so here's my pocket, but I want to do something a little bit more with. So what I want to do is just cut like a little notch out of it. Just a little thing like this. And that looks really super cute. These are probably finished. And now we can glue it in, my blooms and lace. And I can just put it here in the front. Okay, and so I'm just going to put some glue here. We're going to let that glue on, or I'm going to let that set for a minute. And now we will try and see what this is like. And it fits perfectly. Super cute. And that was all with scraps, guys. So that's it for today. Thanks for coming and watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.